Right. Well, now, when people say that there's this 40% suicide rate amongst transgender people, one of the arguments that I've heard is it's because they're not accepted.
Right. I've heard this too, yeah.
Yeah, and that if they were accepted and then they felt themselves and they felt loved for their true self, then it would be just like everybody else.
And
but
I've seen no evidence to suggest that. If there is a decrease based on treatment, then it's marginal at best.
But that dysphoria, is it uniform? Like, I would like to know, like, is like gender dysphoria, is it in a similar percentile as anorexia, or what bodybuilders get, or what strippers get when they get triple F tits?
I don't know. I'd have to look up like the anorexic suicide rate.
Body dysphoria is a weird thing. You know, it is. I've met people. There's a girl that goes to my yoga class that's anorexic, and it's so disturbing. It's so sad.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. And listen, I'm not saying that we should mistreat people, but if again you're talking about an entire society being forced to redefine basic biological terminology,
right?
Then, like, be an adult. Like live with this. I'm happy to treat you with. Listen, I would hire a transgender person. But I'm not going to change what reality is in order to humor you. Like, if you call yourself Napoleon, I'm not going to call you Napoleon. You're not Napoleon. Like, this is not something I'm up for.
Would you take it into consideration, though? I mean, when you were looking at this, like, what if someone was really good at their job and someone else was equally good at their job but not transgender? Would you lean towards the not transgender person? Because you say, well, the transgender person, they're dealing with a host of psychological issues, obviously.
Well, I mean, I think that you would have to think about, typical aspects of reliability, just the same way you would with any other mental disorder. If you knew somebody was manic depressive, which is super common, and you have somebody who's equally qualified who's not manic depressive, you might think, well, that might have an effect on how they do their job.
Yeah.
So maybe. I mean, I haven't had enough personal experience with transgender people to know whether it would impact a secretarial job or something. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But again, to pretend that, like, transgenders in the military, this seems to me like a decision that should be made by military people who actually have to determine how much does this impact the job. And if you already have a group of people with a 40% suicide rate who have higher levels of instability as a group, not individually, as a group, and you're choosing which groups to pick from to be on the front lines in small units, living under severe pressure for months at a time, like, is that what you're going to go for? Or is that something where, like, you'd have to overcome certain presumptions in order to get there?
Yeah, I tweeted something that Kristen Beck wrote the other day